So, as a closing thought, I'd like to ask both of you, what's one piece of advice you would give to someone feeling stuck or overwhelmed by the pressure to set and achieve goals? Maybe Alex, we'll start with you.
Thanks for that question, Daniel. You know, I think almost all the feedback and advice I've ever had turned out to be counterproductive. Not all of it, but most of it. And especially the advice I got from father figures of influence. Let's say a senior academic professor, a senior corporate tycoon that I might ask an advice. Then turns out that advice, prompted or unprompted, it's counterproductive. So I stopped giving advice. No, aware of that, I stopped giving advice because it's so context driven, our life. It's so specific. It's so impossible to give advice. So usually when I'm asked to give advice, I reply, I can only share my story. I can only share some of the things that made me progress. That's not an advice. Feel free to take it or not take it or just joke about it, laugh about it, anything, but don't follow it. And so the only thing I might say, I mean, there's a lot, but the only thing I might say for me, metaphorically and archetypally, so using the archetype of it, it helped me a lot to release and soften up. So as if, when you're pursuing a goal, you have a tight fist, and what helped me is releasing that fist. Okay, and not seeing myself so seriously, because when you're trying to achieve a goal, you're seeing yourself so seriously. If you're on LinkedIn, you're seeing yourself so seriously. If you are in a corporate job, any 9 to 5 job, you're basically seeing yourself too seriously most of the time. So for me, it helped a lot to loosen up and see my life as play, see my life as naturalness rather than seriousness. But that's my life. So take whatever you want to take from that. That's not an advice. That's just my story.
That's great. Thanks. All right,
I
Jay,
guess
what
it's
about
my
you?
turn.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to provide a counterpoint. I like everything you had to say, but what was rolling around in my head was the single word persevere. Now, that may sound way too serious, taking yourself too seriously, but I'm a little upset with the number of people, especially young people that I talk to, who feel powerless, that they, as an individual, just can't change anything. And they're looking at various doom and gloom scenarios and feeling that there's nothing they can do about it. And that's debilitating. Um, so I say persevere because, as one novelist put it, I think it was Fitzgerald, F. Scott
Mm.
Fitzgerald, that we must, on the one hand, see that things are hopeless and yet, nevertheless, persevere. Uh, and I want to give this message to a lot of young people because, in my experience, I feel I have nudged the wheel of history. I don't feel powerless. I feel I have made a difference and can make a difference in the future.
Yeah, that's quite interesting actually, because although we have these multiple futures, these possibilities, in order to get the one we desire, it's going to cost something. We're going to have to persevere. We can't just like assume that we can just get whatever we want without working for it.
Mhm.
But there is like that counterbalance we have here, because from Alex's point of view, it's like if you hold on too tightly to something, maybe you'll burn out too quickly, you'll give up
Mhm.
too fast. But if you can like integrate a naturalness into this pursuit that's going to cost you something, I guess any future
Yeah.
is going to cost you something. But
Yeah, I'm not against perseverance. In fact, perseverance has to be there. It's almost like a predefined condition without which you're not gonna do anything. But you can persevere and be stressed about it, or persevere and be natural about it.
Yes.
And I've always persevered, right? So basically, we can find a way in between Jay and I. I always persevere the wrong way, you know, until I realize I need to persevere in a more laid back way.